Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for our webinar, Katana and Shiptheory, Shipping That Satisfies, Why Customer Service Matters. We're just going to wait another minute or two, just to let kind of the stragglers join, and then we're gonna start. But again, really appreciate you all coming out today, and it's going to be a great one because I'm Mark Cohen. I'm pretty solid, but we got even a better Mark coming up to present.
You're very kind, Mark.
How's the weather there in England?
It's very British. Yeah, it's quite actually. It's quintessentially British today. It's overcast with a little bit of rain, although it's very hot actually. So yeah, it's all good there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm based in Toronto. Kind of the same thing here. Getting nice weather for now, but waiting for the worst. Cool. Yeah, and then as we're going through it here, if you guys see, there's a question area. So if you've got questions throughout the presentation, feel free to ask away. And then there's a chat box too. So if you've got specific questions, feel free to answer through it. We've got some team members as well that can answer throughout. Again, we're going to keep this pretty fluid on our side. So I think we're gonna get going right now. So my name is Mark. So I work here at Katana. I run tech partnerships. And a big thing for us right now is we obviously are kind of always looking for ways to work with best-in-class ecosystem solutions. And that brings in Mark from Shiptheory here. So Mark, I don't know if you want to start out, give a little intro into yourself and a little bit about Shiptheory, and then we can go through kind of the content and what we're going to go through today.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Mark Mikkelson. I'm one of the co-founders at Shiptheory. I now head up operations. And yeah, I've been here since the start. We spent a lot of time working on customer service in our early days, which has helped create a great fundamental for our business. So I can chat through some of that today.
Very cool. So in terms of format for today, we're create kind of a conversation around customer service, customer experience, why it matters. So this will take about 30 minutes or so going through it. And then afterwards, we're going to leave some time for some Q&A afterwards. So I think we're going to get into the first question right here, and then I'm going to remove the screen so you can see our beautiful faces as we go through it. But yeah, I guess first question for you, Mark. What do we know about customer service?
What do we know? So in our early days, we didn't know much, and a lot of feedback we used to get was that it's a great product, but our getting back to people was slow. People just didn't get a good customer service experience. So I spent personally 2 years building out the customer service team, implementing the sort of mechanisms we use to come up with a good customer service strategy. And that is things like how we handle tickets, how we build out our knowledge base. So we've got over 1,000, probably 1,500 different articles and documentation pieces explaining how to fix problems. Not necessarily for the end customer, but for internal use, so they can quickly refer to them to quickly give a solution. And then looking at good SLAs, looking at what companies that I perceived had good customer service were doing, and then mimicking that, and looking at what we needed to do to mimic that. So just to give some sort of qualifier to where we're at. But our average ticket handling, so the average response time during working hours for us is 3 minutes. That's not a holding message. That's like an actual response from somebody with the next step in how to fix whatever the question is. Our live chat is under 30 seconds, average response time. Our ticket lifetime, so like the time from creating a ticket to solving one is about 4 hours on average. And we did it incrementally. We spent, like I said, the first couple of years working out how to do it, and that's putting a bunch of things in place. And our customer service team is amazing. I mean, it's not like I've done this for myself. It's a big team effort, but yeah, it was just by looking at fundamentals and looking at ways to improve and speed things up. One final thing to say on that would be that we've got like a mantra for the customer service team, which is don't ask customers things that we could answer. So a good example is we might get a question come in and say, oh, I've got a problem with one of my shipments hasn't gone through. Now, naturally, you want to say which shipment, but we've got access to all their shipments. Why not take a look at, say, the last 50 or 100? Maybe there's only one that's got an issue. So we can say, well, if it was XYZ shipment, the reason is blah, blah, blah. And they might come back and say, no, it was a different shipment. But at least we potentially, in like at least 50% of the cases, that would have been the shipment. And it would have, it basically gives value every time we speak to somebody. That's sort of the aim of what we're trying to do.
Very cool. So then diving in a little bit deeper here. So in terms of, looking at customer service, at the heart of it, like, why does it matter? Like, how does it matter, as a business owner? Like how do you kind of view that?
Sure. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people that come to watch this will be sort of e-commerce or people that sell online of some sort. So the easiest way to sort of put this in perspective is it's money, right? Like it costs. There's a decent amount of research that shows that the cost between acquiring a customer and retaining a customer is 5 to 25. So like to retain a customer, it could cost up to 25 times the cost to acquire one. Now, obviously, you want to do everything you can to retain a customer, and there's been some good pieces of research done around. Microsoft did a study fairly recently. They interviewed 5,000 different people, different buyers around the world, and it showed that 90% of the people said that customer loyalty came from good customer service as a primary trait. So if you increase your customer service, you effectively increase your retention of customers. So you drive down your acquisition cost or your requirement or your lifetime value of a customer. And like another way to sort of think about this is from another perspective is, so you've got the acquisition side, but on the other side of it, internally, so we're on Trustpilot, we're sort of like top 7 in the world for software platforms or something, which is amazing because we're relatively a small company compared to some of the big players. And our internal staff love it, they're proud of it, and it adds like another dimension to your workforce. Like it allows them to sort of relish in being great and have like a number or something to point at and says, this is the impact I have in my job, and it's like a cumulative or sort of, it's just like a cumulative effect. Your customer service are really stoked that they're doing a great job, so they try and do even better job. So it just feeds into itself in a positive way.
Very cool. So I guess, we've heard of this company called Amazon before. And yeah, just curious, I guess, your take around, Amazon, kind of what they've done in terms of, good, bad, ugly, but, generally how they've kind of changed the shape for customer service as you see it.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon's customer service was one of their primary tenets back in the original Amazon days. They wanted to be a customer-centric platform or marketplace, and at least myself, I've always looked at them, especially in the earlier days, maybe 5 years ago. Most people use them. They sum it up. Most consumers will sum it up by saying, "Oh, it's just easy. I go and click something, and then it turns up. And if there's a problem, I go and click a button, and then it goes back." It's customer service at the end of the day. They've done it through mechanics or through engineering, a lot of it. But by keeping the customer at the forefront, they're sort of like, how can we make this easy for the customers? It's the same thing we've tried to adopt, and it's the same thing that other people should potentially try to adopt. Remove friction at every point. So everyone watching this, I would assume, will have at least bought from Amazon. The difference between buying from Amazon and buying from the average e-commerce site is night and day, right? Like you go on there, you pick your product, you think to yourself, well, if it's rubbish, I can just send it back. So there's already an objection gone. So again, it builds into that sort of brand loyalty. If you know that this brand will fulfill a refund request with no questions asked, you're much more likely to go and just buy it and then see if it's okay. And even if it's kind of rubbish, you might be like, oh, I can't really bother to return it, I'll keep it. So you might keep the sale. And then on the other side of it, the like the general experience in Amazon is just yeses, right? Like it's quick to purchase something. You go on there, you click a button, you're done. It's got your address saved. Everything's as easy as possible. Another part of it would be any issue. Like you can speak to somebody on a live chat, on a phone, although their phone support is hard to find, but it does exist, and it's really good. It'll ring you back and all that sort of thing. And there's not some advert for Amazon. They potentially it builds its own problems, right? They've got a big problem with returns, but they are a great person to look at and mimic some of the ways they've done with customer service. I mean, as a seller, and there's probably some people here as sellers, they probably know that as a seller is particularly mercenary towards sellers, where each seller is held up to such a high account that they're required to fulfill so many constraints with sort of customer service side of things, like they must deliver it or fulfill it within a certain time, that kind of thing. And that just all adds up into a very good experience for a retailer, not necessarily for a seller, but it's not bad.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just smiling here. Just got a quick quote from Mark, a little testimonial to Shiptheory's great customer service. I caused to contact Shiptheory this morning. I needed some information regarding configuration. Aaron was excellent. He answered my questions, set up something for me, even though I was happy to do it myself, and sent me information about what to do next. So cool. It's in practice, not just talk, not just talking here, It's actually in practice
as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's the most popular name in the world at the moment from everyone I speak to. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm glad. And hello, Mark.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. Very cool. So again, kind of taking another kind of way around looking at customer service. So obviously, as a business owner, there's lots of competition out there. How do you see, potentially leveraging customer service to set you up well, or, kind of separate you out from what other competitors are doing?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of feeds back a bit to the first question of what's the point of good customer service? If you think about the average, I know essentially a lot of your users are manufacturers, but they're still manufacturing roughly the same. They're probably not manufacturing from raw. They're probably manufacturing from components they've bought from sort of maybe Asia or something, and they're putting together products. And to make a product 10 times better than another product is like, without reinventing a product, is near impossible, right? So to set yourself aside, if anybody's ever read 0 to 1, which is a really cool book about how to, you need to be 10 times better to be able to steal a sale. It's hard to do, but what's quite easy to do is there's a lot of poor, especially in the e-commerce world, customer service. And you look at the average e-commerce store compared to, I don't want to keep going back to them, but Amazon, but there's plenty of others out there. There's some in the UK, there's an AO, they're not too bad as well. But another good example actually is Kazoo. It's like some car company you can buy a car from, and they made it all very like customer driven and this kind of thing. And the big companies are catching on and putting these big systems in place. But it just goes to show that like the way to good customer service is through. Sorry, I've actually completely lost track of the question. Sorry, Mark. What was it?
Yeah, no. The like in terms of the it's smiling here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure. So I mean, there's the brand loyalty thing, but the main thing I'm trying to get to here, without going into all the other people who do good customer service, is the manufacturing of a product. You can only get so good, and the other gaps in your business, like customer service, is quite an easy one to maybe double your efficiency in customer service from a few tweaks here, and like looking at your busy periods, right? Let's say you sell, I don't know, like sports wear or something, like a sort of jerseys, like ice hockey or football or something else. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're going to be busy evenings and weekends, probably not so busy in the daytime. And if it's near a game or near like a set of games or like a cup or something, then maybe make sure you've got more customer service on hand to be able to answer questions on the website. Just really basic stuff. But then look at the questions you get asked, and then I know we'll probably come on to it, so I won't go too much into it. But like looking at making those slight changes, just remove objections. That's what good customer service is. Basic extension of sales, right? It's like, oh, I kind of want to buy this sports jersey. Oh, I don't know, maybe it won't get to me in time. Oh no, it says it's going to be there next day. Or I don't know, maybe the returns, like if it doesn't fit, it's going to be a pain to return it. Oh, they say they'll collect it for me and refund me instantly. Okay, cool. And it's like, well, maybe it's all smoke and mirrors. I'll send someone a message and see if they respond. Oh, they've responded within 2 minutes. Okay, I trust these people to buy from. And then you buy something from them, they fulfill it, they sort of meet all your hopes and expectations, and you're like, well, there's great customer service. You didn't really do anything. You just put a little bit of messaging around, saying, give them an update on. I mean, shipping's a really obvious one. Like, telling people when they're going to receive things from. Like, if you order by 8 o'clock tonight, you can get it next day. Or because some people say, oh, we got next day delivery, but then you're like, well, when does next day, go over? So, yeah, just it can basically is an extension of your sales team. Good customer service. It sort of backs up everything that your marketing and sales or phone operators are doing.
Very cool. Yeah, kind of went into the next question a little bit there too, in terms of like kind of those hints and tricks and kind of areas where you've seen, even from your side, some of the businesses you've worked with or just in industry, like how are some like practical things that business owners can do to kind of amp up their customer service game like right away almost, right? Where it's just like, if you did these couple things, this will put you kind of way ahead of like, you're in the 80-20 rule, right? It's like, get in there, right? Yeah.
Make a couple of little changes and drastically alter. I think it differs for each company, and like the way we did it was look at the things that we get inquiries on. So we get a lot of tickets, so we get hundreds of tickets a day, and we get a lot of live chats. So come up with a system for that. Those tend to take a little bit of time to build out, but instant wins like today would be write your cutoff time on your website, write your returns policy in really clear, easy. You see some people's returns policy, and it's like quarter of a page of like fine print, and it's fine to have fine print, but people want to just be reassured. Like in the sales world, you have objection handling and avoidance, and that's a lot of what customer services are. From an e-commerce perspective, in my eyes, like I said in my previous example, if you're thinking about buying this jersey and you really need it by tomorrow, and you're like, well, it says next day delivery, but does that mean like it's 6 o'clock at night? They've probably all gone home. Whereas if it said, like you look at Amazon or any like the Hut Group in the UK, where it says like cut-off period for the next day delivery is X o'clock, you're okay, I'm really safe in the knowledge that they've acknowledged that's their cut-off. There's going to be no debate about it. So looking for really quick wins, and then maybe you open your support desk or you just your email for your store, and you see that you keep getting the same question, like when is a delivery cut off, or where is my shipment? That's another one in the shipping world, right? Like where is it? It's not turned up. Just giving people tracking links when they buy something. You can automate it with all sorts of things in the world. One of the things being our product, but there's a bunch out there, right? Like you can go and implement very small, very quick things that have a huge impact. Yeah, the 80-20, right? Just how many times, if you don't have like tracking links and automatic updates, that kind of stuff, how many queries you're going to field every day where somebody says, oh, where's my sports jersey? And then the customer service person has to open that ticket, find the tracking number, go to like, the UPS website, look it up, tell them, oh, it's at a depot, or it says it's going to be in 2 days' time. There's been some delay at an airport, or whatever the case may be, and then relay that to the customer. And even if they then give them a tracking link to keep up to date, that's like a 2-3 minute job minimum, and it scale 100 a day, 100 orders a day, and maybe you get sort of 3-4 people every couple of hours ask for something. And these things work in a very sort of cumulative way in a negative sense. If you get so many, you see it all the time. People, you see these big retailers that sort of they sprung up out of nowhere, and we get them a lot. They come to us and they say, oh, we've got I started in my bedroom, and now I've got 400 orders a day, and I can't really fulfill them quick enough, and I get a big chain of questions saying, where's my order? It's not been delivered, and then then they spend more time going for emails and not fulfilling orders, and it all just grinds to a halt. So looking for the things that you get asked that are very easy to message around, whether it's on your website and an automatic email or some sort of tracking link or whatnot, is a good one.
Cool. It's kind of an add-on. This is more curiosity. You might shut it down quickly, but on that, like, what about like reviews and getting reviews from like customers? Is that like something that you see often, and like how do you manage that potentially?
So we get reviews. So we've built in reviews. Sort of leads back to the internal staff happiness.
Yeah.
We built it as like a sort of near cultural thing. Like it's praise, and it's really nice. Like you said there, one of the Shiptheory customers said that they've had a really good experience. Who doesn't want to hear that, right? It doesn't matter if you're a business owner or if you're just working in first line support. It's nice to hear positive stuff. So people love that. So we built it into the company as a sort of thing. Most departments have some sort of target on reviews, so they have to ask for a certain amount of reviews per month. There's plenty of automatic tools out there. So like Trustpilot or Reviews.io, all these kind of things. They will have widgets where you can basically BCC in addresses, and then basically Trustpilot or Reviews.io or any of these other platforms will then constantly email that person going, leave a review. Now we're really anti-spam. Like we really try not to do like the spammy thing. So we usually preempt people and say like, look, you're going to get a review thing through. We'd love it if you spent 5 minutes just leaving us a bit of feedback. We genuinely like it, and it's useful to us. And most people are really happy to do that, right? Because if they've had a good experience, they want to give you something. Especially if we get them all the time where they're like, "This is the best customer service we've ever received," and they're really thankful. Genuinely, it's not some sort of weird pseudo advert for us. It's like they're genuinely really thankful. And a lot of times, like you've probably had it personally, you just want to give something back, just like, because then I've done it in the past where I've spoken to somebody on the phone. I'll be, you've been really good. Is there someone I can like email to say like this person's great? Just give them some kudos. So yeah, it sort of feeds into itself. We don't have some big machine trying to generate us reviews. We just built it into sort of, especially on our onboarding process. It's just one of the last things we ask people, like, you're up and running. If you ever need anything, let us know. If you get 5 minutes, leave us a review. It'd be great.
Yeah. I think reviews, and even on our side, like getting feedback, it's important. It's something where we, on our side too, we push it to like Slack and like allow kind of the teams to see in terms of like how things are going, and you can make improvements from there, right?
I mean, years ago you could do stuff where you offer people vouchers, like, you have or get your next thing 10% off. But a lot of review platforms don't tend to like that because they see it as like purchasing reviews. So you have to be a little bit careful on that. But there is ways to incentivize people to do it. And like I said, people just like to do it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, so I got one or two more questions for you before we can let people ask away if there's anything else that they're interested in understanding or knowing today. So yeah, I guess from a you've alluded to a couple points, but from a Shiptheory side of things, like how are you guys applying kind of all the learnings that you've kind of been talking about today to Shiptheory? And then I'm actually going to follow up with the second question that I had on that. Sure. It's just like, how can Shiptheory help? It's like, I don't want it to be too salesy, but I think it's important for people to understand that piece as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, how we apply this is, I've sort of touched on it as we've gone through. Mm-hmm. The short-term stuff is, for us, is mainly signposting people where they can get information. But because early on, like I said, we did I spent 2 years pretty much working as customer service with our customer service guys to work out the things to change. So it's hard to specifically say, we've implemented this and this and this. It's like a whole machine that works together. However, so the messaging thing is definitely one, and the review sort of which is fairly recent actually. We only started the reviews maybe a year ago. Building that into the sort of process, and it sort of focuses the internal teams onto customer service, and having actually one of the easiest ways, and this goes back to like one of the things to implement, is come up with what good customer service is to you as a business owner. Like I always use this example of like you ring the bank and then they say, you know, I ring up about my overdraft and they say, oh, just authenticate what's your date of birth, your mum's maiden name, all these kind of things, and your codes. And they go, okay, cool, I'll put you through to the overdraft team. And then you have to do it again. You're like, I've just done this and I've just explained the problem. So like that's the antithesis of good customer service for me. And we use that internally. Like I said, don't ask questions that you can answer yourself for the customer. So that's our thing. So if you're an e-commerce retailer, maybe you could, you know, maybe you'd make it something along the lines of how, I should probably thought one of these, but off the top of my head, something like yeah, how far am I from Amazon? Like, you know, how close or how easy was it to purchase, right? Like how many objections have you got per 100 orders, right? Like how many inquiries before purchase, and like just look at that number going down. Just, you know, last month we made 100 orders and we had like 200 inquiries. How can I make that number go down, or in proportion to the number of orders? And then other things for us, one of the big things for us was internal documentation, both on the tech stack, because obviously our product's quite technical, so there's a lot of moving bits. We integrate with hundreds of different APIs. So our devs will hopefully attest that we've got some of hopefully the best internal documentation there. And whilst that's not specifically customer focused or customer service, it's sort of rippled out in customer service. We've got so much internal documentation and external, over 1,000 external documentation, maybe 1,500 in total documents. And you can look up everything from like, I've got this error code through to my Magento store is not connecting properly to whatever. And yeah, whilst you might be able to technically look that up in our documents, you can just ring somebody and in Shiptheory and they'll be able to talk you through it or just do it for you. So yeah, we did it, I guess the quick answer here is we did it incrementally. Like how do you eat an elephant, right? Bite by bite, that's how we do it. So yeah.
Very cool. And then I guess it's just a couple minutes until the Q&A. Anything like specific, like, I don't know, if someone's not using a shipping platform right now, again, it doesn't have to be Shiptheory, even though it's excellent, but like considerations or why it's so important, things to consider as you're, you know, maybe you know, looking at. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's two key reasons why you should automate certain parts of your business. So anything that's repetitive and detail orientated, which shipping is an obvious one. So if you think about it, if I gave you, say, 10,000 orders to type into a computer somewhere, and you're reading them off of another computer or copy and pasting them, you'll make so many errors over 1,000, especially if you did it. But you might be good at it, but you'll make errors. And that knocks onto the customer experience, right? Now you've sent the wrong, if you're selling sports gear, you might have sent like you know, the Nemesis team to a certain fan, you know, like of what they were trying to buy, or just something completely ridiculous, or, you know, could have sent like an adult toy to like a, you know, a nun or something, right? Like you could completely mess things up just by not automating out things. So like that's one of the primary reasons I would say, and most people say it's all about time saving, and there is definitely all that, but from a customer service point of view, sending the wrong order is just disappointing. Like some kid receiving the wrong present on his birthday, it's just like soul crushing. You know, you don't want that in the world. So yeah, there's that, and then obviously you've got things like just increasing, like I said, the customer experience, having the automatic tracking number go back instantly. So yeah, the order's been placed. I placed the order 5 minutes ago. I've already got the tracking link. Great. Yeah, they've not received it yet, but they wouldn't have. But you know, maybe in like 4 hours' time, I can see it at the depot. Oh, great, it's gone to the depot. Now it's on a plane or whatever. So that's quite good from a customer service point of view. And then I guess finally would be there is the sort of, like, do you really want people that work for you spending a whole day like bent over a keyboard typing in thousands of orders a day and copying, even if they didn't make any mistakes, copying tracking numbers from here to there? aside from the cost of that person, it's just not a very fulfilling life, right? Like it's a very boring. You don't want to give people really dull, boring jobs, right? Like use them for something that's useful that they would enjoy way better, like an efficiency somewhere. So yeah, I'd say that. And there are, as a little advert, why not, right? If you are going to go and use a shipping platform, understand what that shipping platform can do and what its limitations are. There's a lot of stuff out there that say they do all these things, they integrate all these carriers, but a lot of it is sort of like faking it till they make it. They all say stuff like, yeah, we integrate all these carriers, and you speak to them and say, oh, well, it's on the roadmap, or oh, it doesn't have that service or something. But if you don't ask that and you spend all this time integrating with them, you sort of like make do, and then you end up in sort of a bad situation. So yeah, if you are going to consider it, give us a call.
There you go. There you go.
Oh.
It's popped up just like that.
In case you can get us on there. We do have a US number as well, but it's not on there. You can probably find it on our website. In fact, if you're in North America, you go on our website, you'll see our US number. But yeah.
Very cool. So I was going to say, this is like perfect timing here. First off, Mark, thank you so much in terms of coming out today. And it looks like we got a couple questions coming in. So for everyone else, in case you have to pop off early, we're going to send this presentation afterwards, contact details and everything to the group. So you'll have it, and you can have dialogue with Mark or myself, and we can help you out. But yeah, feel free right now. It's Q&A time, so feel free to start asking questions, and we'll start going through them one by one for the team here. So it looks like the first question is, does Shiptheory send out notification emails to receiver?
Yeah, so it depends. Certain channels that we use don't allow it, but the channels that we do. So we don't actually send the emails ourselves. We use the stores themselves. So we will trigger it through the store. So it looks like it's coming from you. It's all branded in your templates, whether it's like a Shopify, Magento, that kind of thing. Things like, I'm pretty sure I might say this, things like Amazon, they're really strict on like how you use customer data. Like we're not allowed to keep it or record it and all these kind of things. So whilst I hate answers like this because they sound really wishy-washy, the answer is yes in most cases.
Cool. Next question. Does Shiptheory provide tracking updates at every stage from when the shipment leaves our shop to when it is delivered? Is this viewable by both the shipper and receiver?
Okay, sure. No, so we don't do that at the moment. And over the years, we've looked at doing this because of where we're based in the UK. And whilst we've picked up more and more North American customers, a lot of the stuff in the UK tends to be a lot of the primary carriers here have very good notification systems, and we've had requests for it, but we've never really built it out. However, it is on the roadmap for us to sort of build out within the next year or so. We're very near the end of our roadmap of features we're adding, so we've just added like a full return suite. We've just partnered with a front end rates thing because that's one of the other things we get a lot of. Like, I need the rates on my front end of my website. But yeah, the tracking thing is on our list. There are a lot of apps out there that do that kind of thing that we sort of recommend if you really want it branded up as you as part of your store to do that. But as a final point now, we deal with a lot of carriers that don't really have very good tracking events. Like we deal with every carrier, right? But there's a lot of the carriers we've got, like the big pallet ones and stuff. They don't have it's in Jim's van on its way. So the uniformity there doesn't entirely fit what we're doing. But yeah, so unfortunately, it's a long no.
Fair. Next question, specific. So what types of reporting is built into Shiptheory?
So we've got all sorts of location, shipping methods, shipping services. So how many things you sent in a specified period of time. but we also have an API that you can run any sort of report on of like any data we capture. So for we capture cost data for the carriers that provide it. Again, in the UK, we've got this like weird rate system where they don't have rates APIs. Some of the bigger carriers, like the international ones, a lot of the US ones we do, so USPS, UPS, FedEx, these kind of carriers, they've all got rates and they feed them back to us, and you can basically pull them out and report on them. But yeah, I guess the thing that people would probably want, and why not be honest, is potentially events or delivery times. We don't really have a way to do that at present, because we would have to capture the event of it being signed for, finally delivered. So one of the things we're working towards with the events notifications is it will eventually allow us to say, like, next day deliveries, how many next day deliveries actually get delivered next day. It's a really good use case, especially for the bigger retailers. It's something that we've got, like I said, on the roadmap.
Very cool. There's a question around Katana. Adian, it's totally up to you. You can ask away, or if you'd like, after this call, I'm happy to jump on a quick call if there's a couple questions specific to Katana, and our team, myself, are happy to go through it with you. And then I'm just looking right now. Any other questions from the group? It's totally fine here too, because afterwards, again, we've got you're gonna have all the contact details. I'm happy to go through it. Oh, sorry, yeah, Mark.
I've got a question that people should ask. Is and this is a little bit salesy for us, but still, it's one of the things. So when we built Shiptheory originally, we tried to build it because talk about like tracking and all that sort of thing, and it's like, oh yeah, we do shipping, but the thing that we do well is shipping, and we do well at fitting in with other people's platforms. Mm-hmm. So, like a good example, a lot of our competition will require you to either log in at some point to their shipping portal to do something to trigger the print. Whereas, like in our world, like if we are connected to say Katana, you can have it so that you don't change your workflow. You just use Katana, and then a shipping label comes out the back because it's all been pre-configured. It sort of runs in a ghost mode, and it's whilst we can help people and say like, oh yeah, we've got pick pack pages and all the standard features you require. One of the things we wanted to be was something that could just fit into any organization in any workflow. So more around the configuration than the actual specific features. I won't ask any more questions for myself.
No, it's an excellent point. It's like, honestly, I wish across categories we could have the same kind of feature set across multiple apps if possible, right? Because you kind of want to stay in your system and be able to kind of let everything kind of operate in the background and automate.
And the speed of getting somebody up and running right in your staff is like, well, I know how to use my like Shopify store, my Katana, and now I've got them doing this other piece, and it's like, no, it's just running. My labels come out this point over here.
Okay, I think we're good here. So just wanted to thank everyone so much for coming out, taking time out of your days for the session. Mark, you were excellent. You beat expectations. I had you here, and it's just like that. But no, really appreciate everyone coming out again. And you'll receive this along with kind of contact details if you have additional questions. And thank you so much. And have a great rest of your week ahead.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thank you so much to the customer, Mark, for messaging in and making us look even better.
There you go. Yeah, that wasn't pre-made either. That was live on the spot. You can ask for it better. So thank you all, Marks.
Cheers, guys. Pleasure.
Cheers.